all less prevalent.
The match is ready. Yurix, take it away.
All right, starting off, you have to wonder, I mean, Gator was a big deal for them already, and Speed's coming in. We'll have to see what kind of impact he can have playing the role for them of main tank. Starting off the fight, looks like he's playing it pretty safe here. They're just kind of looking their way around, trying to find an opening. And who are you expecting to have a little bit better of a performance alongside his counterpart Zachary, but already Beast Halo falling. Luckily though, they do take down Frill in the process, and now they can start to try to out DPS them between Who Are You and Zachary, try to find these kills.
We'll see whether or not they will make that happen, and so far it's going to be the recall forced out. Meek though is going to still go down, and with that kill, it's going to potentially look better and better for Fusion University, but as I say that, it's going to be NK picking up one kill. It's not going to matter though, as Zachary's going to be able to find Frill there at the end, and even though it's going to be tense, dancing around on the point, Who Are You will get that kill in the end, and Fusion University will manage to achieve that first point cap.
Now gonna speed boost Alarm back into the fight, but getting the first point cap is something that they struggled with against, Vision earlier. So at least something, boding well for them, at least for now. Zachary gonna throw out the pulse bomb, won't get the stick there, as they're looking to try to, slow down this fight a little bit. They don't want to just completely rip them down over and over again, because they want these fights to last a little bit longer. Alarm with the Transcendence actually going to go down, and so will Elk. This is a big opportunity now for Fractal Esports.
Especially since Who Are You goes down with the blade, managing to find that kill speeds. It's going to enable the rest of his team to get a team fight win here with his final few ones coming through. And as a result, Fractal Esports, off of a big self-destruct from Kaluj, will be able to get that point cap in their favor. And now, with a lot of ultimates building up on their end, it's going to be Fractal Esports looking in a better, or rather much better shape moving forward here.
Beast Halo looking to jump in. They do have that score advantage, but Beast Halo's stuck and he's low on health. Frill awarding them with that first kill. Now it's going to be NK coming through with the blade. They have the Transcendence, so Who Are You will be able to find that kill. Self-destruct comes through. Not going to find anything themselves, but they are pushing the envelope here, being very aggressive in this situation, putting pressure on Who Are You, focusing him so that they can't afford any space for themselves. They can't get forward. Fractal Esports not only going to be tying this up on the scoreboard, but also just really taking it to Fusion University there.
We'll see whether or not they can keep it up, because the blade is once again at the ready for Who Are You. Of course, Beast Halo might jump in to enable him to get the picks he needs, as the first kill is going to come through. Both supports going down for Fractal Esports means that this should be, once again, Fusion University capping the point in the end, especially with Zachary getting a double kill of his own onto both those DPS players only. Let's find a few tank players left here for Fractal Esports. So Fusion University get the point back, but not before losing 63% towards Fractal Esports.
Where are you coming back? I mean, now as we get into this next fight, Frill has already done a lot of stuff with the Pulse Bomb, really focusing down Beast Halo. It seems like that's their primary objective, so that they can get speeds in there, have that advantage, not worrying about, the opposing Winston. As they play kind of slow, Frill will throw out the Pulse Bomb, won't find anything this time, and now they're looking for Who Are You, and they'll find it, but they'll lose Meek in the process.
And so far with that 1-for-1 trade, we will see the Soundbar as well as the Transcendence being blocked on both sides, but it's gonna be Fusion University winning out in terms of the engage so far. But as I say that, Kaluj finds another self-destruct kill, and even though the blade is gonna come out of NK, no success off of it means that overall Fusion University might still come out on top, as we will see Zachary getting another kill, this time around onto NK. And then with these final few staggered the ones at that, Fusion University potentially will be able to get this first point on the board. 96% built up. Who Are You gets another kill onto Meek, and can anyone get it onto the point? No is the answer. Fusion University opening up with a first round win on Oasis.
And for a lot of people wondering, where this guy came from, this Speeds player. He was on a team previously with Meek last year, I think around the same time of the year. Actually played against these teams that we're seeing late into the tournament. That he played against the old Envision, the one with McGravy and Coffee, Saney, Fozix. Who else was on that team? Fire was on that team. I think he was also the version with Darks Darksma on it as well. Played against the old Fractal that I don't even remember the roster because it was so long ago. But, you know, in some AG Weeklies, he actually did play with these guys with Meek. And I think Titans was on that roster too, which I think Fractal wanted to bring into this, but I think he was the tank for that roster. But either way, they've got speeds now, and they have to make it work. They were pretty close against Fusion University in that last map. Maybe on this one, they can afford themselves a map win and actually get it into a round number 3 here on Oasis.
Look at that. So far, it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade as Zachary gets NK with a flashbang, but we'll see Meek answering with 1 kill of his own. And interesting choice here for this side of Fusion University, as Huaryu is going to be on that Zarya. Now looking to only have Zachary on a DPS. His scan at that, and with Huaryu getting another kill onto Frill, also the D-suit, is going to enable the rest of his team to potentially get that first point cap once again.
Fusion University going forward. Just have to make sure that they remain stable in some of these fights. I mean, Fractal Esports was quick to get back on and tie it up at about 40%, and they really pushed the aggression forward when they had control. So Fusion University looking to try to, you know, be a little bit more stable in that department, and they also have the lineup to do just that, but they have to stay away from the self-destruct. It goes down. They're going to be healthy, but NK still finds a kill on a Beast Halo because he was separated. So in isolation, they're now looking for more kills. Zachary going to get followed up on as he gets taken down pretty low, and they find the kill as well.
And can he find more? The blade might come out, but he's going to be forced to disengage for now. And we will see the Graviton soon be available for Huaryu. He's going to use it because he's going to commit. He will do just that. Gash is free, but the Transcendence is also going to be popped there by the side of Meek, and the blade is going to come out of NK. Cannot find the target so far, dashing in. He's going to look for just that, but Earshot coming back from Beast Halo off of the spawn is going to potentially secure something, but no, as Kalush will get that kill in the end. A late Coalescence coming out of Alarm will potentially make things a little bit better for Fusion University, as he will secure a kill onto Kalush, and with that, we will see Fractal Esports unable to make the swap in their favor here on the point.
Still holding on 70% right now. Zachary consistent with the McCree, landing those shots, was pressured early on, but now as we see this next fight about to take place, it's at 80%, so Fractal Esports pretty much need to win this one, and it's going to come off of this pulse bomb. They need to find a kill. I mean, honestly, they kind of need to find a double kill off of it if they can. Stun comes out, actually puts NK low as well as Frill. They find the kill onto NK. Pulse bomb goes out, certainly won't find anything for Frill, as they're now looking to try to get anything done. Zachary will take out the Tracer. I don't think there's any hope now for Fractal Esports.
And with overtime kicking in, the Graviton's going to be popped as well. Soundbear is going to come out as well as the Transcendent, but this should be overall Fusion University potentially claiming the first win in the series, with Alarm getting another one onto speed. It's going to be a last mad dash out of Fractal Esports trying to get something done, but considering the fact that the blade is going to come out, it's still not going to be successful. Coalescence pop, and Fusion University will be able to get the first map win tonight here against Fractal Esports.
And this is another, different take from Fusion University. Their dive wasn't really working out so well so far today. It just wasn't put together as well as we've seen it so far in the past, but they show us a different look on that second map, and it worked out quite well for them. So I'm excited to see if they have more versatility up their sleeves coming forward. But don't go anywhere, guys, because we got those maps in just a couple minutes.
And we are back once again. Somewhat of an easy first match, I would say, for Fusion University. They were looking really good on Oasis. Fractal Esports did put up a fight on the city center, but on University it was a one-sided fest, to say the least.
Unfortunately for them and Fusion University, we've said that, okay, they need to show us different takes, not only the dive composition with those particular picks, and they did just that when it came down to it in that second round, having a dominating performance at that too.
I mean, we've also seen on University different compositions, so maybe it's just that they know that their typical dive comp simply cannot work on that one. Now, coming up next, we are going to have Eichenwald. Do you think Fractal Esports is going to have an easier time here?
Well, it's going to be an interesting one because I would have expected them to potentially pick out something like a Farah on Oasis. Was not really the case for NK, opting in to go for the dive themselves. And now that we will be moving on to Oasis, it's going to be tough because even when we did see Farahs come out against Fusion University, Huaryu was able to time and time again pick them out of the skies. Of course, Zachary now having an excellent showing on the hit scan. DPS could once again go for something like a McCree when it comes to the defensive side, but potentially even on offense.
Yeah, as you did mention earlier in the day that Huaryu got a deflect kill in midair against Farah, especially on this map. So
Yeah.
I hope we can see that again. That was definitely a cool move. Now, looking at Fractal Esports, do you think they're stronger when they play Farah?
Well, the thing is, they just don't look as strong without Gator in this lineup, and that's going to be one of the big problems for them, even on Eichenwald. And the Farah hasn't necessarily been the hero that made them look their strongest. It was actually Enki still on the Genji, but considering the opponents right now that they have to face, they can't just play their best. They have to make sure with speeds in the roster that they get the advantages with his playstyle.
Let's see what Fractal Esports can do on the second map. Curix, take it away.
All right, starting things off. No surprise dive coming out from Fusion University, but we're seeing Zachary instead of the Tracer pulling out McCree. We have seen this before and we'll see it again, but something that we have not seen all that often is who are you on the Tracer? Oftentimes you'll see him on the Genji or perhaps another tank or something like that, but this time around he's going to be on the Tracer. Interested to see what kind of looks we're going to get from him on this particular role, as normally it's Zachary, but coming into the fight, a dive from Fractal Esports themselves.
Well, we'll see already. Kaluj losing his suit. Going to make things difficult in terms of their offensive push, but if they can still get any kills, any picks here, it might have them push the opposition away. But so far it's going to be Zachary still keeping them at bay with the use of that flashbang. Frill though now coming back in with the rest of his team is going to look to get on top of the point off from the side, but it's still going to be an interesting one. Of course, having Zachary on the McCree could very well shut down even the likes of a Winston jumping in. And so far it's going to be Frill getting the kill onto Beast Halo, so that will open up things big time, especially with NK getting a second one onto Who Are You. Zachary gets the Diva suit, but that's all they get. And as a result, Fractal Esports open up in a much better fashion here on Eichenwald.
This was a really, really solid dive from them. I mean, executed very well, especially with having speeds in on their main tank. That's very impressive that they were able to pull it off like that. Just going in very slowly, just poking, waiting for opportunities, taking kills. Frill would just drill down anybody that was even remotely low so that they could take those kills, take the advantage, and then push the momentum forward. I mean, very, very impressive display from Fractal Esports after what we saw in Control.
Now the pulse bomb is going to come through from the side of Frill, unable to find any targets. It's going to be on the other side. Who Are You forcing the Transcendence out of Meek, and as a result the rest of his team is going to look for an advantage, but the Blade is going to come out. NK gets the first kill all to Elk. Can he get anything else? The Deadeye is going to be popped. However, contested by the Diva means that overall it's a 1-for-1 trade. Looking for more, it's going to be Alarm getting the second one onto Meek, and with these final few kills we will eventually see Fusion University win out the team fight and potentially equalize or stabilize things here, especially with Who Are You getting another one onto NK. Primal Rage was spotted by Speeds, but you gotta think that this should favor Fusion University overall.
I mean, everybody in Fusion University is still kind of scattered. Who Are You was just a little lost there. I mean, isolated completely because he couldn't get back to the rest of the team. So Fusion University gonna have to wait for a bit to allow time for their Tracer to come back and get into position. on the flank so that they can put some pressure out. They do have Pulse Bomb available. Zachary pretty close to Deadeye. He can easily get that up in this fight as he puts some more pressure out. We'll be able to get it as well as a kill onto Meek.
Especially since he's being damage boosted, he will be able to dish out quite a bit of that. But now with the Deadeye finds NK and the D-suit, so just like that, Zachary's gonna be able to get another one onto speeds. And with these final few kills, Fusion University once again looking strong on the second phase of Eichenwald. And with both support ultimates good to go, gonna make things difficult for Fractal Esports moving forward.
Zachary kind of playing with the high ground a little bit. Beast Halo and Kraken Lacken trying to play off of the point a little bit, and that should allow him to have a lot of room to try to just put in so much damage with this McCree, the Peacemaker, Peacemaker, one of those two. Either way, still putting out the damage with it, and we will see Kaluj just dropping in the self-destruct. Really separated Fusion University again, but again, they're just not dealing with Zachary. He's just punching out so much damage, and they can't really pressure him at all. They're going to instead take Kraken Lacken out and try to bridge the gap a little bit, but there's the Transcendence in return from Alarm.
Can't find anything here. Who are you still on his solo mission out from the side? It's gonna look for a pulse bomb, unable to find it. It's gonna be eventually a count to Meek, but in the meantime, Zachary once again able to get speeds in that engage. Now coming back in B-Seal with a Primal Rage will eventually be forced to disengage, but this is gonna mean that Fractal Esports pushed away will have a late kill onto Tensa, and with that, a big advantage being built up here for the defensive side of Fusion University. With 2 minutes left on the clock though, we might still see Fractal Esports get said second objective.
Oh, Zachary almost getting speeds down. They had the Discord on him. A couple headshots from McCree almost took him completely out. Now it's going to be the Primal Rage coming forward. They knock Alarm off the map. Elk almost going off as well. Nobody there to actually bring Elk into the fight, so Elk falls off the map. Everybody dying off now, and Fractal Esports might have just awarded themselves that second objective.
Very nicely executed, and Speed's definitely playing quite well on that. Winston himself will secure that second point, and moving now on towards that third one. Meek will eventually be able to get that Transcendence, be it in this next team fight or the one after, as on the defensive side, Elk on that Lucio instead will also prompt Who Are You to go on the Genji himself. We'll see whether or not this is gonna bode well for them as so far. The Deadeye is gonna come in. Zachary's gonna look for those heads, look for those targets. Unable to find anything just yet. Will actually be deflected. And with the blade coming out now, it's gonna be NK shut down. So far, it's still a 2-4-1. Who Are You back up to the Tracer? Did not quite stick to that Genji long enough. Transcendence will be popped by Meek though. Can it secure the team fight somehow as Alarm answering with one of his own? It's gonna prompt the rest of his team to potentially get a good hold onto this payload.
They're still putting pressure out, but they're not finding the kills just yet. Frill gets one of his own. They finally jump in on those supports. They find the kills. The Pulse Bomb also gets eaten up by the defense matrix, and we'll see the self-destruct come out trying to reset, but they should find the kill onto Speeds, and Who Are You follows up with it. Fusion University, after a long-winded fight, do wind up taking it and make the stop, but Fractal Esports have gotten this far. You have to imagine they can maybe get a little further.
Especially considering the fact that they should have quite a bit built up in their favor, potentially soon enough. If they can force Elk to use that ultimate, maybe to start things off here and make sure they disengage and come back in with one sound barrier of their own, will be good for them. Speeds now on the Reinhardt is gonna prompt both sound barriers on these teams, and so far no advantage gained on either side. The Pulse Bomb though is gonna come in. Self-destruct will also be used by the defensive side of Fusion University. Who Are You gets one kill onto Speeds, but he will go down for it. Kraken Lacken with another one onto Frill, who made a swap over to the Roadhog. Zachary finds another one onto NK, and with those final few kills, 48 seconds left on the clock, things are looking good for Fusion University.
Alarm having Transcendence. Beast Halo can knock them around, give them control on the objective in that confined area. It's really going to come down to what they can get with the blade, as well as, having the opportunity to get Speeds in there, get aggressive, and perhaps be able to get an Earth Shatter out. That's going to be the main thing to look for in this next fight, because they need everything they can get to get control in this next engagement. But NK pulls the blade out, does find Elk. Not going to find anything else just yet, and there's the Primal Rage coming out, knocking everyone around, and still Speeds hasn't gotten that Earth Shatter ready, but he's close.
With that Earth Shatter, it could very well secure another team fight to potentially get that payload close to the objective, but the Firestar gets eaten up, so denied for now. Froldo getting another kill onto Who Are You. It's going to be overtime kicking. Earth Shatter doesn't find the target. Sound Barrier will be popped defensively. Zachary managing to take him down right in the nick of time, but now Frol coming in with that Riptide is going to get one kill onto Elk, and with these ones falling up from NK, Fractal Esports might still get that payload through, but into overtime, it's going to be close. One more potential team fight, one more potential stall coming out of the defensive side of Fusion University, as we will see Kraken Lakin onto the point, desuited, potentially going down in the end. Alarm coming in with the Transcendence will look to delay things even further, but it's going to be the kill feed all in favor of Fractal Esports. Only Elk left on the point. Kaluj is going to get another kill on the board. NK with the rest of his team will be able to secure that third point, but only barely through overtime.
This is a vulnerable version of Fusion University that we haven't seen so far in the tournament, and something that I mentioned in the very beginning, given what I saw in the Open Division, especially the finals of the Open Division, is that Fractal Esports is deserving of their spot, you know, winning out in the Open Division against some of the teams that you see in Contenders Trials and even in this tournament, where Fractal Esports was just the better team. And I think they've gotten even better since then. And yes, there are some, you know, concerns if you're Fractal Esports, if you're, you know, looking from like a coaching perspective, there are some things that you want to be able to kind of shore up very quickly if you can. But a lot of the, you know, the things that we saw about Fractal Esports have mostly been positives. You know, their dive coordination is pretty strong. NK has had pretty good performances. Gator, when he's been playing, unfortunately for them, they're not having him today, has been actually pretty solid. I mean, especially on the Reinhardt, they've enabled him very well. Kaluj has done a good job of making sure that Gator has the ability and the positioning, can basically afford for them to allow the Reinhardt player to be aggressive and actually really kind of, you know, push forward and get the damage out, really play for control, and they can win games off of that. We saw them, you know, do so well in King's Row because of that very reason. On top of that, Frill, who isn't really the flashiest Tracer player, has still been able to just drill down tanks and get a couple of really key picks in a lot of situations. And Dino and Meek, their flex support players, have really been kind of consistent for them. I mean, in almost every facet of the word. So I would say Fractal Esports, if they are able to take this and get into another map, definitely look for them to maybe take another. They also are easily in contention of taking this against Fusion University with the way that Fusion University is playing right now. But if they don't, certainly look forward to them in Contenders Trials, see if they can find one of those top 2 spots, and if you see them in Contenders, expect some decent stuff from them going forward.
Zachary making the swap over to the McCree for a split second. Will be back onto the Tracer instead, so some interesting decision making on that regard. So far, it's going to be though Beast Halo claiming the first kill, will be punished for it down return, but without that support, things will be potentially very difficult here for the defensive side of Fractal Esports. However, Tensa, being on the Mercy, is going to be able to find the Resurrect. In the meantime, though, we'll see Fusion University still get an advantageous fight onto the point already. One tick achieved, rapidly getting close to that second one. And with these final few kills, even Elk getting NK on the Pharah. It's going to be Fusion University looking even better on the attacking side. And not too surprising considering the fact that this is where they shine.
Yeah, this is where they normally shine, and on top of that, they also have their DPS not swapped roles right now. We saw Zachary, you know, playing the flex role before, you know, where he was, of course, playing the McCree and then swapped over the Genji at the last second because Who Are You just doesn't play that role, plays mostly the projectiles, and I think that might be, you know, a vulnerability for Fusion University, that Zachary is going to have to play a lot of those roles, and Who Are You isn't necessarily, you know, a Tracer main, and maybe kind of swaps things up around for them. But Zachary getting that first pick onto NK will open things up. They don't have that DPS player, so now they can be a little bit more aggressive, just poking in. Meek going to be pressured out and killed as well by Kraken Lakin.
And the Blade is at ready for Who Are You. Not sure if he's going to commit for it. The self-destruct will be popped. The Blade indeed will be the follow-up, but so far unable to find those targets. Jumping around, it will be somewhat of a lacking success, but hey, at the very least it zoned them out, secured the kills in the end. Coming in from Beast Halo, and looking now towards that second point. They have 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, and with Alarm get to go with Transcendence. Still gonna be potentially quite good for them, but with a lot of resources at the ready from Fractal Esports, gonna be Kaluj sending out the self-destruct, unable to find anything off of it, but at the very least, Frill in the meantime gets a kill onto Zachary. NK getting the D-suit will secure the kill onto the Diva eventually, and with these follow-up kills, it does seem like Fractal Esports will eventually be able to stabilize.
Fractal Esports getting a crucial fight win there. They'll be able to have the Transcendence, they'll be able to have the Beat, they'll be able to have the Blade as well as the Pulse Bomb in this next fight. So they can potentially hold out in this next one as well, especially if they get aggressive early, put some pressure out onto guys like Beast Halo or Kraken Lacken. Ideally, I think it would be Beast Halo if they could, so that way they can really enable the Blade. They wouldn't have to worry about the pressure from that Tesla cannon. And we'll have to see how Beast Halo wants to engage this. He's already in the back line. Transcendence forced out, and he's going back to the point, and he's going to get drilled down. Pulse Bomb going to take down Speeds, but the Blade is out for NK. Can he find the kills?
So far, it seems like it's not going to be the case. The Soundbarrier even's going to be popped. Who are you? Gets Meek. The Pulse Bomb could potentially decent Kraken Lacken, who manages to somehow get back in. Not going to get killed off. In the end, it's going to be Frill, though, still finding that one. Who are you? Down with the Blade. He's going to get Tensa. Can he get more? Seems like he's going to get a double. Looking for the third. Will be overall, though. Self-destruct popped on the other side, as we will see both teams fighting it out on the payload. But in the end, Fusion University winning out big time. And with a lot of time on the clock left for them, too, it does seem like Fusion University will be poised to potentially get the second win of the series.
Remember, if they have over a minute, they'll have the ability to just take it outside of this first push. So they have 4 minutes, but realistically they have 3 if they want to be able to have, you know, a really solid advantage going through for a second push, so that they, you know, it's either a draw or a win for them. But Stick comes out. It's going to take Kalush out of mech. Almost awarded them a couple of kills, actually. But that's going to be from both sides, as Frill and Zachary both trade that out. And now it's going to be a little bit of a Tracer duel. Frill taking on Zachary. Zachary getting the better of the deal, but needs to find the kill before he gets the Mega, and that's not going to be the case. Frill does get it. Pulling away, we do see Zachary trying to still take him out. He does have the Harmony Orb, but Zachary will find the kill with that. And Enke with the Blade on the other side, trying to get the fight in their favor. He might have found just enough grunge to allow his team to get back in there and push in and have the ability to just get their composure once more, and that is exactly the case.
And I think that it was also really big coming out of Meek to make sure he shuts down Who Are You before he was able to get the Blade, and the Transcendence was really there to heal him up too. And as a result, overall, things still looking good potentially for Fractal, as they will have the Transcendence of their own, with Meek going, or rather being good to go with that one. But NK is going to go down. We'll see the Transcendence come out. Self-destruct on top of that too. But overall, it's going to be favoring the side of Fusion University. Who Are You? Popping the Blade. He's going to find one kill onto Meek. Pulse Bomb secures another one onto Speeds. And with that, it will be Zachary getting a double kill of his own. Make that a triple. And with the payload approaching that final objective, 2 minutes and 25 seconds left. Fractal Esports now looking to stall things out as much as possible.
Oh, they're going to be trying to get that time off the clock. They want to be able to have a shot at attacking themselves. They know that they don't have really any kind of win condition if they don't let this go under a minute. And now we'll see the Blade come out. They have them kind of low. Enke gonna go down. Kraken Lacken finds that kill. Pulse Bomb at the ready, but they did find the kill onto Alarm. So Stick comes out, will demech Kaluge. And they need to find this kill quickly as the Mei is coming back on. Meek trying to stall it out, will be able to. We're only 50 seconds away from that minute mark. Elk is just the only support left. They're looking to try to kill him. They have them backed off a little bit as Who Are You went down, but they need to find the kills quickly, and especially onto Elk if they can, because he's pretty low, but he's their only healer now as Alarm is coming back on Soldier.
And we'll have 33 seconds potentially left here for the attacking side of Fusion University to make things happen. It will indeed be the case, but that was a really good stall from the other side. Even NK on the Doomfist managing to find a couple of kills before going down himself. And the big problem right now for Fractal Esports is the fact that at the best, they can secure themselves a draw, whereas Fusion University could potentially secure themselves a second win in the series.
1 minute, 28 seconds. It's either going to be a draw or a win for Fusion University. If they take it, they'll go up 2-0, and we'll move into a third map, and could be a quick set of best of fives as Envision, I mean, really put work in against Fusion University already, but turning it back around against Fractal Esports, a version without Gator, I mean, who has really been a stellar player for Fractal, I think, so far. Very unfortunate that, you know, he's not here, I think, for them at the moment. But either way, Speeds is still performing quite well, given the circumstances and everything. I think Fractal Esports still putting on a show, at least here on this map now. 128 they have to hold. This is possible. They can definitely hold this out. I mean, you're really looking at just getting the advantage in the first fight, taking it, making that fight last as long as possible, and then making sure that you have everybody in position for that second engage with momentum, having that higher ultimate charge because you take the kills, you have the advantage, and then maybe taking it right like that. I mean, right there. We'll have to see if they're able to pull it off, though. Fusion University taking angles, playing this slow right now. They don't want to give up too much very early on. Frill and Zachary again in a 1v1 Tracer duel, but Zachary doesn't want to pop the recall too early. On the point, though, what's happening here?
And we'll have NK getting really close to that Dragon Blade, but will fall in the end. Alarm claiming the first blood, as Frill will get the decent, but overall things are looking stellar for Fusion University. All they need is one tick on that point, and it seems like they should be able to get it. All the kills in their favor. Who are you? Cleaning up house, and Fusion University securing the second win of the series. They need one more to get their shot at the grand finals.
Wow, I mean, they're able to take it. They just really couldn't get anything done. I mean, just all the different angles that we saw surrounding Fractal Esports, they just couldn't find a safe place to recede into. And that was a good play there from Speeds. Ooh, almost fell off. But either way, we'll have map 3 coming your way. Don't go anywhere, guys, after these short messages.
And we are back at the analysis desk. Fusion University looking better and better as the day progresses. Their defense on the second point was really good, and I was especially impressed by Zachary. He was looking great on McCree.
Definitely still consistent as ever, and the rest of his team on the point means that they will claim that second win, but overall Fractal Esports are making it surprisingly close. I'm impressed by the fact that Speed managed to step it up where Fractal Esports really needed him at the most. Definitely looking weaker compared to having Gator on the lineup, but still making it competitive. And now that we will be moving on to Anubis, it's going to be a potential another close call. But overall, Fusion University, as you said, looking better and better. This is one of their better maps too. We'll look to potentially close things out here.
I do feel like the fact that Gator isn't playing is a big minus for them. He was delivering in the previous matches in the playoffs, and when he played Reinhardt, he made a lot of space for his team. He was hitting the crucial earth shatters, and that meant a lot for them. Like, I personally see that they're missing him.
And unfortunately, we'll see whether or not that will be the case again for Anubis, because I do believe the map is ready and we are good to go. This is potentially match point, though, for Fusion University.
Curix, take it away.
And we are once again back with Anubis. It will be on the defensive side to start things off here. Fusion University. Alarm picking up that Sombra again. And this has been one of the big picks when it comes to Anubis. That Sombra support, time and time again, able to potentially shut down a bunch of these pushes single-handedly with that EMP. And on the other side, it will be a full-on dive comp for the likes of Fractal Esports.
And we know that Alarm really likes that, but
Nope.
I saw him starting to go back, but maybe that's the difference that the ping perhaps makes, because we're on East Coast server right now, and Alarm wasn't able to teleport back. So huge opening for Fractal now, as they don't have to worry about the Sombra for another 5 to 10 seconds or so. They have the advantage again because they just took out Who Are You, and they demexed Kraken Lack, and Fractal Esports could award themselves this first take very quickly now.
So whether or not that will be the case, as so far it's still Beast Halo and L contesting. For now, buying quite a bit of time for the rest of his team, but overall it's still all about Fractal Esports on the point, as they will be able to clean up house in the end. One tick already on the board. We might potentially still, though, see Fusion University fight back, because Zachary claims another kill onto Frill. If anyone does decide to go back in, the MP is at it ready. Seems like that will not be the case. They will manage to hold on to it, looking into this next fight.
Alarm trying to get his EMP up, has it available now, will throw it out to look for the kills. Quick one onto Meek as he loses all of his shield. And we will see a late kill onto Speeds as well. Fusion University looking to stabilize after an unfortunate first point for them. However, Fractal Esports, look at what they have available for this next push. They could get aggressive right here, and they could potentially take it quickly.
But this could still very well be a problem for them, considering the fact that even on the defensive side, the squad a lot potentially charged up soon enough, so they need to go in right now, make sure that they push their advantage because of those resources, and Soundbear will be prompted. However, can it secure anything else? Even Transcendence now popped. The blade is going to come out of NK, but so will Who Are You, popping that one in the end. And with the few kills, it's going to be Meek and Frill going down. Fusion University once again looking very strong right now on the second point. Alarm getting another one onto NK, and potentially here, Fractal Esports a little too fast on overlapping those support ultimates, and it will be in the end Fusion University winning out again. No ticks given up as well. Even Kaluj, a late kill onto him, will mean that they will manage to build up another EMP.
That right there was an important fight to win. They are now forcing changes out from Fractal Esports. Look at what they're coming in with next. I mean, Frill is going to be back on the Tracer, but they have NK on the Reaper. Tensa is on the Moira. This is actually the first time we have seen him off of Mercy and Lucio. I think this is the first time, but EMP comes out from Alarm. Zachary throws the pulse bomb out, won't award himself a kill, but Fusion University is still coming up with the better end so far, as they're looking to try to take down Speeds, who's hacked. He can't jump around as he's in Primal Rage, but down to about 300 health. Can't get that health pack either. Alarm says no thank you as he gets that heal pack hacked out for himself before he dies off, and still the kills coming online for Fusion University, but they don't want to give away this first tick. They need to find these kills, back Kaluj out, and they do just that.
At the very least, though, for the other side, we'll have 4 minutes and 34 seconds left to make something happen on the second point. Zachary potentially looking for any other staggered kills there. And Alarm, considering the fact that he has another EMP right now at the ready, will buy enough time to potentially make sure Huaryu builds up his blade. Elk could very well get that Transcendence as well. Will potentially look to be another great upcoming team fight for them, as Fusion University now are going to commit the EMP out of Alarm, but it's going to be Meek, the first one to go down. Now to the point, it will be Frill looking to get something done. 2 kills in favor of them, but the blade is going to come out, and it is going to be Huaryu taken down. NK somehow finding that kill. Tensa with a Coalescence will potentially make sure that things are in definite favor of Fractal Esports, as Kaluj is going to claim another kill. The Sound Bear will be popped defensively, as it will see the Pulse Bomb come through, but overall, Huaryu coming back from spawn is going to secure another kill, this time onto Kaluj. But we will see 1 tick achieved by the offensive side. The Death Blossom is at the ready, and K can go ahead and commit. Make sure that this point goes in their favor, almost towards that second tick, as Speeds is going to get another kill onto Beast Halo. Kraken Lekin might be going down. The Death Blossom will be popped, but the Matrix will be there. EMP coming back from spawn. Alarm will be taken down. It seems like now Huaryu coming back in on that Doofus. Gonna be able to get a kill onto Meek. Can he get anything else? He does. He gets another one onto NK, and the Pulse Bomb is gonna come through. 2 ticks achieved. Nobody inside for Fusion University, and Fractal Esports still in the end will get that point with 3 minutes and 3 seconds left.
I mean, one of the things, like I talked about before, that I've liked from Fractal Esports is their execution is very solid. Their ability to communicate in these high-pressure situations to solidify kills and, I mean, just focus down single targets. It's been very important for them in a lot of these matches, and it actually works out for them here yet again. 303 is not a bad time at all, especially against Fusion University. Yes, Fusion University is typically better attacking than they are defending, which is obvious given the fact that, you know, they're so proficient with the dive. But I mean, still, 303 is a workable time to play with. This is certainly still winnable. They're still in this match. You absolutely cannot give up yet. You're down 0-2 right now, but you're still in this one. You award yourself a good time bank, and now look to try to defend. I mean, the first point alone was so well executed by Fractal Esports. We saw it from them, you know, as well on Eichenwald, how they just were able to kind of slow push, take their picks, surround them a bit, get into good positions, and then just force that momentum right onto the point and to take those last couple of kills, get the team wipe, and secure the objective, both on Eichenwald and here on Anubis. Now, as they defend, yes, they don't typically run a Sombra. They don't really have the, you know, support lineup that likes to run that, but they still have Meek on the Zenyatta and Tensa on the Lucio, which is something that we've seen from other teams, especially like in EU. They really, I remember, liked to play the Lucio here on first point defense. You know, you saw a lot of supports really favoring that. I think Cruz was one of the ones that we saw almost every single time they played this map. They were playing Lucio here as well.
And now, as the round will start, we'll see whether or not Fusion University can get a better time with their attack. Now looking to have Alarm on the Moira once again, interestingly enough. On the other side, though, as you said, having Lucio and Zenyatta will be interesting here for Fractal Esports, as so far, going towards that Mega Room, it will be Fusion University potentially getting a high ground advantage and finding a couple of early picks to really open up the point here for them. As the Winston is going to be jumping in. Beast Halo looking for NK. It's going to be, however, Meek going down. And just like that, 2 of them going down here for Fractal Esports. It will be Fusion University potentially with a very fast first point take.
Oh, Tensa trying to hang on, but he'll fall as well. And quickly, Fusion University take it. And we talked already about how their attacks look better than their defense does, but going into the second point, it's something that's very difficult to play around. And interestingly enough, look at this lineup. Speeds is going to the Sombra, and they don't have a main tank. They're playing, well, I guess they do. They're playing the same comp that they sometimes run on control maps, which is Meek actually swapping over to the Roadhog and having Kaluj on the D.Va, so they have the Hog D.Va combo that they like playing for King of the Hill.
And we'll see whether or not that will be successful. So far, the Coalescence is going to open up the point here for Fusion University. The Pulse Bomb is going to come through. Frill managing to get a kill onto Zachary, who made the swap over to the Reaper. Will potentially be great. And even the Blade is going to come out of NK. Can find the target. So far, seemingly not the case. However, Who Are You will be rapidly approaching the Blade of his own. So I'm curious to see whether or not they will commit for it. As so far, Kalush going back in is going to get the D-suit. Beast Halo finds one kill onto NK, but this should be Fractal Esports winning out overall. No ticks achieved as of yet for the other side, but as I say that, Beast Halo somehow gets another one. The whole hog is going to be available from Meek, and with it, with the sound barrier on top, this should eventually be Fractal Esports winning it out.
We're seeing some kills come out from Fusion University, but not in, succession. They need to be able to find the kills quickly, one after the other, get a team wipe so they can get control and start taking the objective. I mean, they really have to start being more concise with the way that they take their kills. So as we look to see them re-engage, Alarm very close to Coalescence should afford them a little bit more healing, to Beast Halo especially. Hook goes out, so now Beast Halo can jump back in, but still there's going to be a lot of pressure on Beast Halo here, so they're going to need this Coalescence and stick onto Alarm. Actually gets Elk as well, but it only stuck Alarm, so he actually just walked into it, and Fractal Esports taking another one here.
With a big pulse bomb coming out of Frill is going to make things easy for them. And the big problem on top of that for Fusion University is the fact that they don't really have any other ultimates. Who Are You committing with the Blade will only find that Lucio. And now with the EMP as well as the Blade on NK available for Fractal Esports, they're going to be looking good with another potential defense here onto the second point. However, 4 minutes and 46 seconds left for Fusion University. I can't really see them not potentially eventually opening things up on this point. And now some other swaps. This time around, Zachary onto the McCree, and Who Are You once more on that Tracer.
NK with the Blade. Oh, there's the hack going out. NK can just run in there. They still take him down, but the kills are already out. Tensa still around as well to provide the healing, and they should easily clean up one more time. And I'm not actually sure about that sound barrier. They're finding some kills, and maybe they can just stay in here, but Zachary will be killed off as well. He wasn't able to get around the pole, so Fractal Esports not only lose their sound barrier, but they don't even get a tick for it, and backed off again. Fractal Esports look phenomenal on the second point defense.
And now it will be only Beast Halo get to go to Primal Rage. However, Zachary was definitely still as lethal as ever on the McCree, so we'll see whether or not he can find even more success this time around. But considering the fact that Fractal does have the sound barrier available for Tensa, soon enough the MP once again, the Pulse Bomb is going to find another double kill. Frill, so consistent with those on Anubis, will get a triple kill in the end, and they don't even need the sound barrier and EMP to once more get a good team fight win here. It's going to be back off of Frill's stellar performance on Tracer.
I mean, Frill and NK are coming together big. NK has really provided the space for them because, Meek and Kalush aren't really primarily doing that. They're just focusing a lot of pressure onto Beast Halo whenever they can so that NK can open up the Blade. Everybody looks at NK, and then Frill just kind of sneaks his way in and just drills everybody down with the pistols.
At the very least, though, for the attacking side, there's going to be 5 ultimates available, so we'll see whether or not they can make something happen, because while yes, they do have a lot in terms of the numbers, those ultimates not necessarily the most effective or really difficult to make a lot of use of. The MP is going to catch most of them. The Blade is going to be the follow-up, and so far, once again, opening things up big time. NK will be able to once more shut down this push coming out of Fusion University. And now with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left, things are starting to look dire for them.
I mean, 219. You have a lot of stacked ultimates right now. Elk still getting his sound barrier up after pulling it out a couple fights ago when they tried to make it work with only like 3 people around. Zachary coming in, has the Deadeye available, not a lot to block from it. Meek almost gets taken down, and there's a first pick as Who Are You on the Tracer takes down NK, but he's going to get eliminated himself. And they're barely hanging on right now in the Coalescence. Hack coming out again.
gonna find Beast Halo, so he's unable to jump even with that Primal Ray Soundbarrier that was gonna be built up for Elk, and as a result, Speeds is gonna be going down. This might finally open up things here for Fusion University, but it's not over just yet as Kalush is gonna get that kill, but Zachary gets a double off of the Deadeye, potentially being the big factor here for his team, but NK now with the blade, it's gonna be dropping pretty low, does find one kill onto Elk, is able to get a second one onto Who Are You, and even though Alarm coming back in with the orb is gonna get that Genji killed off, it's still gonna be Fractal Esports holding out strong.
And they take a late kill onto Kraken Lacken as well. That had to be where Fusion University took it. I mean, they're rolling in with tanks right now. They might have, you know, 1 or 2 fights here. Coalescence might give them some time to stick in this, but I don't know. Without the Graviton, I don't know if they can actually get this done. They can get hacked out. Zachary will be very vulnerable because he'll lose his shield. This is going to be very difficult to take for Fusion University.
And now already the pulse bomb is going to go through, however, unable to find the target. It's going to be Beast Halo claiming that first kill off of the Fire Strike. Coalescence will be popped by Alarm, looking to get the rest of his team saved up in terms of those HP pulls. Beast Halo getting close to an Earth Shatter, but the EMP is going to be there. However, it's still a 1-for-1 trade. That time around, NK coming back in on the Reaper is going to find that kill onto L. Kraken King gets the Sombra in the end. It's an all-out brawl onto the point, but with the Mei in the fray, it's going to be Frill getting another kill onto Zachary, and this might just be it. Fractal Esports might be able to get the win here, and it's a big one at that, as this will mean that they will go to another map past Anubis. 5 seconds left. Kraken Lacken on the Diva, able to get another point. It's going to be the Death Blossom claiming Who Are You, and it does seem like in the end, Fractal Esports should be able to win this one out, but it's not over just yet. The rest of Fusion University will come back in. Earthshatter only finds one target onto Kalush. We'll see that Tracer being able to stall things around. Coalescence pop, unable to get anything done off of it. NK getting another one to Zachary, and indeed it will be Fractal Esports getting a win on the board.
I was a little concerned before, you know, are they going to be able to take a map off Fusion University? Is that going to show that Fusion University is indeed vulnerable, more vulnerable than people thought? But this was just such a stellar performance by Fractal Esports. I mean, really clever compositional adjustments, good play from Frill across the board, really consistent with the sticks on the pulse bombs. They really made, you know, Beast Halo and Kraken Lacken, I mean, their value was incredibly lessened. But don't go anywhere, guys. After this short break, we'll have map number 4 coming your way.
It does seem, Brunch, that we have a series on our hand, as Fractal Esports just look impeccable on this one, especially on the second point. Fusion University couldn't crack an armor.
It was definitely looking like they were struggling to find any opening, but I think it's down to the fact that we did see Speeds able to play the Sombra to a good degree, and even the Meek being able to get the Roadhog plays done was very nice to watch, and now the reverse sweep is a possibility, but still unlikely.
And it's still strange somewhat to see that Fusion University was unable to break second point in 7 minutes. That's a hard struggle, I'd say.
Well, it was unfortunate, as you said, but it's not over just yet. Of course, moving on forward, it will be Route 66 coming up next. And this, once again, could very well go either way. But this is where, once more, Fusion University should be able to find an opening for a win, potentially.
Now, do you think there is a decent chance to maybe see the fifth map?
There could be, especially since Route 66. This is interesting because we might actually see Sombra once more. Have seen it in the past when it came down to that first point defense, and considering the fact that we did see Fractal Esports play to a very high degree, it might be a big important factor here.
The match is ready. Let's jump right into it.
All right, going on to Route 66. This is a dive-heavy map, Brunch, so you have to wonder if perhaps this is a big plus for Fusion University, as we'll probably expect to see a lot of Soldier and a lot of Genji between these two teams. I think NK will probably pull that out, or perhaps Frill. We'll have to see what exactly they want to do. I would imagine it would be NK, though, as they'll probably want to keep Frill on the Tracer. But, you know, after the performance we saw on Anubis, I would want to keep Frill on Tracer.
Most definitely, and on the defensive side here, it will be the Mercy variant on top of that Soldier, also able to get the damage boost through. However, so far, we'll see whether or not they can secure anything here on top of the big girls, as it's going to be B-Sale jumping very low, able to stay alive with the rest of his team as he will disengage off of that jump. And still, a lot of distance already being covered here for the attacking side of Fractal Esports. Zachary lying in wait off to the side. Alarm, look at that, almost at the ready with the Transcendence, as Meek will be taken out of the fight. 6v5 man advantage. It's gonna be actually equalizes. In the end, Frill picks up another one onto Who Are You. NK finds the second DPS of Fusion University, and even though Alarm will be popping that Transcendence, the question is it gonna be an the Pulse Bomb? It's gonna come out of Frill, punishing that Resurrect. On top of that, Who Are You? And the self-destruct's not gonna be successful. Who Are You finding a rocket, Helix rocket kill, but Fractal Esports might still get that first point.
Now we're seeing them hang on at the moment. Elk trying to get back into the fight, but it'll take him quite a long time and won't actually make it in the end as Fractal Esports take the first point. Put it on the board. Sound barrier available for Tensa. And of course available for the rest of the team, as Valkyrie will be available for Elk. And Who Are You close to the tack visor. I imagine they'll want to damage boost him if they can, but they need to get into a position where they can, and NK getting taken out pretty low. I think Frill actually DC'd for a moment there. He just got killed off immediately, and Fusion will take that.
And as a
there he
result,
goes.
yeah, we'll have a short pause. Hopefully, whatever issues he's been having will be fixed up soon enough. And at the very least, for the defensive side of Fusion University now, they do have the tech visor at the ready alongside that Valkyrie, so things should be looking pretty good for them.
I mean, this is a very good match. And after what we saw against Envision, you know, we hoped that it was going to be a good one because Fractal was able to take down last night's Leftovers, who, I mean, in the Contenders Trials right now, they have been serving up wins like crazy. I mean, they've been tossing L's at everybody. And then somehow Fractal Esports was able to take them down and, you know, look pretty good in the process and then take out Kungarna right after. So, and it looks like we'll have Frill back in. His internet just reset for some reason, so he'll be back on very shortly. But obviously, unfortunate that it kind of nullifies that push that they had setting up. NK was taken down pretty low, but they did have a little bit of high ground control before they were initially backed off, and Frill was going around the backside to flank, but then he DC'd, and Who Are You just took the free kill. But like we were talking about, I mean, Fractal Esports has looked Yeah, I mean, they've never looked better than they have in like the past 2 days, I'd say. Especially when you consider the fact that, you know, in open division, yes, they looked very good, but it wasn't against teams like this. I mean, they took on teams like last night's Leftovers, but not that exact roster. They took on teams like Kongarna later on, but was a little up and down. But now they're taking on, you know, Fusion University, which is probably not even arguably the top team going into this tournament. I mean, before with the Beat Invitational, they were able to beat out Envision not once but twice. And yes, it was very close. So you could argue that Envision, you know, is a very strong team, especially now that they were able to 3-0 them out. But to have this kind of performance against them, I think speaks volumes about Fractal Esports.
And Soundbear was actually committed by Tensa there off of that resume, and so far Self-Destruct will be popped. Attack visors as well. Overall things looking better for the defensive side as we will see speeds go down in the end. Huari gets another one onto that Lucio, but just like that, on the other side will be Meek able to disengage, able to also charge up that Transcendence. We'll see whether or not that can potentially be enough for this team to continue on moving that payload forward. But on the other side, of course, Valkyrie still at the ready for Elk.
Oh, there's the blade coming out from NK, but he's already low. Who are you with a massive Helix rocket? Now we finally see Meek pull out the Transcendence. Not early enough to save the day for NK, but perhaps able to save the day for the rest of them. Speed's getting down to 17 HP. Soldier not solidifying that kill, but Zachary will as he finds it with his pistols, and they clean up the rest of Fractal Esports. 3:30 on the clock. Their first point take was exceptional, Brunch, but now they've been stopped after Frill DC.
And the big thing is the fact that Fusion University still have that Transcendence available for Alarm. So unless Frill can really get into an angle to potentially take him out to start things off here, it's going to be very difficult for Fractal Esports to get the opening they're looking for. As so far, they're going to be able to make their way on top of that payload. Postbomb is going to come through. Frill, though, unable to get the target down, means that Alarm is going to hold on to the Transcendence, but finally is going to go ahead and commit for it. They need to push their advantage. Fusion University need to make something happen here, especially with the Attack Visor now being popped. Collusion's going to go down. However, Alarm will be taken out as well. So it's a 1-for-1 trade so far. It's going to be Kraken Lacken also falling short. Who are you? Unable to get anything done off of that Attack Visor. And even though L gets the Resurrect, things might be looking good for the attacking side, especially with the Blade. Now NK looking for the targets, gets the first one onto Who Are You? And finally, Fractal Esports get the kills and get a lot of more distance on that payload.
A much better fight for Fractal Esports. I mean, really well done by NK. Every time he's pulled the blade out, it seems like he's been at like 10% HP, but that time he finally was able to get it out without getting, you know, pressured completely. But Fusion still looking to re-engage. Zachary does have the pulse bomb. They avoid frills, but here's an opportunity now for Zachary, trying to put pressure into the backside. Meek is taken down very low. They find the kill. They've got 2 on the board for themselves already. They're still holding the pulse bomb, but they don't seem to want to use it just yet.
And with these final few kills, it will be Fractal Esports brought back towards their spawn. As we will see, as you said, Zachary hold on to that pulse bomb. And very well done by Fusion University to make sure they engage right on time before they get that second point. Now with 1 minute and 37 seconds left on the clock, with these final few kills also coming through, we need to see Fractal Esports get this next team fight win if they are going to be looking favorably coming out in their offensive round here on Route 66.
Speed's taking some damage, gets the stick off, and will find the kill. I think he was discorded there, and he was indeed, as you can see this in Yada's little picture there, but they'll find a couple more kills to follow up right after it. As Speeds isn't there to protect them, Kalush falls back as he was able to get away with his mech and his life, but still 1 minute is all they have left, and Fusion University have a blade and a Transcendence to play with here. They might have another opportunity after this if they wind up not being able to take it, but we'll look to see if they can keep Tensa alive, and they will be able to indeed as Meek pulls the Transcendence out early, but remember, Who Are You still has this blade and no Transcendence left now.
We'll see him get 1 kill. Can he get anything else? It seems like he will manage to find both of the supports off of the blade. More than enough for his team. But Zachary even getting another one onto Phil will just seal the deal for Fusion University as they're looking now poised to potentially close this one out in terms of the defensive side. For them, we will have Prime Rage being popped by Speeds, just looking to enable the rest of his team to get on top of that payload. With NK having that blade, will potentially look for a target, as we will see Zachary pop that pulse bomb, unable to get anything done. Alarm's gonna find Thrill in that engage with the 65-man advantage. The Soundbreath is gonna be popped, self-destruct as well, but the kill is still favoring the side of Fusion University. It will be very unlikely for Fractal to even get onto that payload. Will not be the case, and now Fusion University might just close out this series.
2 best-of-5 series that Fusion University had to play today. They had a lot of days off to prepare for this, but still, that's a lot to play in a single day, and we'll see them perhaps taking it right here. I mean, Fractal Esports, they looked very solid on their first point, as they have, you know, throughout. I would say even Eichenwald looked phenomenal, but now they just fell a little flat. I mean, I think they lost a lot of momentum when we saw Frill DC, and they weren't able to contest high ground the way that they really would have liked to, coming away from that first point take. But now we'll see if they can get the first point hold themselves. I mean, on Anubis, they did just the same, where they had a good first point take. They didn't get, you know, the absolute best time, but it was still a great time on Anubis. And then here, it obviously fell a little bit short, I would say, in terms of what they would have liked to have had. But we've already seen that they have a pretty stellar defense, and I'm curious to see how it's going to work out for them again, because they're pulling out the same exact composition, switching their roles just a little bit, as Speeds will be going back to the Sombra. Meek will be going, instead of playing the flex support, instead will flex way out of his role and play Roadhog instead to enable this composition. And Speeds and Meek actually played phenomenally, given the fact that they, you know, had to really switch up a lot to enable this composition. But I mean, it worked well for them. I mean, with the Sombra and these particular heroes that they have selected, which I really think is a smart play for them, they can put pressure on the Beast Halo, and they can also put hacks onto Zachary and Who Are You to like really shut them out and really shut them down and make sure that they aren't finding the kills, which is a big part of Fusion University's dive.
Not only that, if he can get an EMP off onto Alarm, that's just going to make things all too easy for him to also secure the kill, really make sure Who Are You's effect is lessened overall, or his impact rather, into those team fights. As so far, it will be nobody contesting that payload, just setting up on top of that high ground onto big arrows here for the defensive side of Fractal Esports. Speeds, of course, just looking to also secure that health back control for now and build up that EMP as soon as possible, as we will see both of these teams just poking away. Nobody going down just yet. Will be Zachary looking for a potential kill, especially with that pulse bomb soon enough available for him. They will manage to get one onto Meek, and that could open up big things here for the rest of his team, especially since Alarm finds another one onto Frill. Even Speed's going down. Who Are You gets the best out of NK, and just like that, Fusion University might even claim that first point off of that team kill.
It seems as though they're not going to be able to be a contest. I mean, they still have people coming off of respawn, but they at least get everybody to the short spawn, so they will be able to play this very close. And this is a good opportunity for Speeds to get the most out of an EMP. If he can play this correctly, if he can position himself well, he'll be able to get massive value out of this ultimate. Looking for an opportunity now. They've already got 2 kills, so maybe doesn't want to put it out just yet, but they should be able to find these nonetheless. Who Are You going to have a different look with it, though, as he's looking to try to take this all down by himself. He takes out the Genji in a 1v2 with the Tracer involved as well. And despite the fact that Fractal Esports looked to try to take that fight, I mean, Who Are You completely just turned it around himself.
With no one really on that payload, means that they didn't cover too much distance. Now finally able to do just that, as the rest of the defensive team now forced towards their spawn will be able to regroup and contest this payload one more time at the very least. Of course, looking now into this fight, will push Who Are You away. The blade is added ready for NK. Tensa, though, will be dropping pretty low. He needs to stay alive and have the sound barrier at the ready, just in case. So far, Frill will be on top of the payload, will be taken down by the Zachary on that Tracer himself. Who Are You gets another kill, even though the blade will come out. The Transcendence will be the answer, and the kills will favor Fusion University, potentially looking to close this one out here, as they will secure another teamfight win. And one last ditch effort might be what's left for Fractal Esports, but with 3 minutes and 54 seconds remaining, I just cannot see how they can make it happen.
I don't know. I mean, Fusion University have them contained so well. As they push out, they're going to take so much pressure. And NK will see exactly how much as he goes down almost immediately. Frill will award them an opening as alarm falls to the pole spawn, but I don't know if that's going to be even close to enough. Who are you having the blade? Surely will signal the call for Fusion University as it's still contested, but I can't imagine for too much longer. Meat goes down and that will be it. Fusion University take the map and the series along with it. They'll be taking on Envision in the grand finals.
And what a series here. Fractal Esports, at the very least, still retaliating, taking another map off of Fusion University. Was unfortunate to see the fact that Gator wasn't able to play in the roster, but overall, still good things coming out for the potential in the future.